Alright, to start it off, I've got all of my manga on this little shelf here. It's like literally right next to my bed. We've got like a few things down here, just some binders and stuff, but up here we've got So Cute It Hurts 7 through 10. The reason I have 7 through 10 is because the library had 1 through 6, and that is a common theme for most of my books, actually. So next we got Blah 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 1 through 4. I'm missing 5. Hopefully I can get that soon. But then this would be complete with 5. Toriko 1 through 3. These were actually really hard to find and they were out of print, but I really wanted to read it, so I got it on a pretty good deal on eBay. Next we've got One Punch Man 20 through 23. The reason I have started at 20 is because the library carried 1 through 19, so there you see that theme again. One Punch Man is definitely one of my favorite series. It's very, very good. Next we got Haikyuu 1 through 3. This series I got actually at Target. Most of these at Target. Very good series. I've read the first book so far. So yeah. Next we got We Never Learned 7 through 9. Again, this is because library had 1 through 6. So yeah, pretty common theme through most of my collection. Next we got Spy Family 2. 1 is in the mail right now. It is very good. Elliott actually has the other Spy Families. You'll probably see that in a little bit. Next we've got the first Animal Crossing Deserted Island Diaries. It was decent. The art is actually pretty cool. It wasn't the most interesting book ever, but I did really enjoy reading it to a certain extent. Next we've got literally my favorite series, my literal favorite manga series ever. Komi Can't Communicate. I have 1 through 5 and then 9 right now. However, the literal all the rest of the series is in the mail. So once those will come, I'll probably make a video and a review on those once I read them. So yeah. Next we've got Durarara Yellow Scarves arc. Me and Elliott read the first 2 arcs at the library, and it was very, very good. So I wanted to pick up Yellow Scarves. However, what I didn't know was that basically all of Durarara, except for the light novels, are out of print now. So I'm kind of just stuck with this one Yellow Scarves volume, and no other books, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, we got that. Next we got Teasing Master Takagi-san 1 and 2. Great, like, watercolored art. I love it so much. The art is actually inside the book is pretty simplistic, but it's a pretty good story. Next we've got Kuma 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 Bear. This series is also pretty good. I read both of these in the month of March. You guys can go check out the March reading log video and see these. I talk a little bit about them. Next we've got Go For It Nakamura. I actually got this at Half Price Books. It was just there. It was cheap, so I decided to pick it up, and it was decent. It wasn't great, but it wasn't like horrible. Next we got I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. The art in this is actually pretty spectacular. I do really like it. This is like the complete series. It was a little bit sad. It was pretty sad, but it was very good. So check it out. Next we've got I Am a Hero. The art in this is actually pretty good, and the story, let me just say, is naughty. I was not expecting this to be as naughty as it was. I know it was like a zombie series, of course, but I was not expecting what is in this book. So just if you read this, make sure you're of age to do so. Next I've got Dogman. 1 is actually right here. I need to reorganize these, but 1 through like the rest. So once the series finished, I decided to pick all these up. So that's Dogman. Next we got Jerry and a few Minecraft figures. Next to that we've got Beastars 1 through 2. Very good. I love the art in this series, and I can say that for the next one as well. Blue Flag. So good. One of my favorite series. However, I've only read the first book because the second one is in the mail right now. It was out of stock for quite a while, so that is still coming. Next we've got Way the House Husband 1 through 4. Another like really, really good like artwork. So good. Really like this series. It is pretty thin though. I kind of wish it was a little bit thicker, but other than that, very good. Next we've got Sweat and Soap 1 and 2. Also a very good series. I picked these up at Barnes & Noble, both of them. And man, the edges are absolutely destroyed on most of these Kodansha books. It's so annoying. But next we've got Rent a Girlfriend 1 through 3. This series is very good. The first 2 were okay, and then the end of 2 and then 3 were like where it started getting interesting for me, at least. The main character is, yeah, I don't even, man, he's special. I'll just say that. Next we've got That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime. I slept on this book for quite a while, and then when I finally read it, I was like, why didn't I read this? Because it was very, very good. And actually, I can say the exact same for Yaomushi Pedal. I have number 1. Very, very good. Slept on it for a very long time. And then when I read it, I was like, dang, I really wish I had number 2 because this was one of the best books I have over here. It's very, very good. Next we got Hetalia 1. I actually got this in like a lot with the Torikos. It was like basically like a free book that came with them. So I don't have a ton of interest in reading this, but it came with like the lot. So I kind of keep it down here and I have it. Next we got A Man and His Cat. This is number 1. I have 2 coming in the mail. You guys will probably see that in a review actually pretty soon. But yeah, very, very cute. I love the artwork. The story is getting pretty interesting as well. I can't wait to read more of this series. And then over here, we've got my clone trooper, my scout trooper. And then we've got, some of these are my brother's books, and some of these are library books. So yeah, I keep my borrowed books over here in this little empty space. So yeah, that is my manga collection.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Manga Consumers manga collection video. I'm starting on a beautiful picture of baby me. Yeah, if you didn't know, that's baby me. And the reason I'm starting like this and not showing my face is because, you know, some cameras can flip from like the outside camera to the inside camera, but mine can't for some reason, which is super stupid. So I'm just starting. All you get is my baby face. But outside of that, let's jump to why we're actually doing this video, and that is to show my manga collection. I don't know if Chloe's going to go first or if mine will be going first, but either way, doesn't really matter. Let's just jump into it. So I keep my manga in this bookcase, which I kind of have made into like a cool holding box thing, because if you look over here, it's a bit messy, but I have another bookshelf just full of like novels and things. And so I have no room for my manga, so I kind of just renovated this bookcase to be its own, like, special hidey hole full of manga. So let's pull it out here. Yes! Here we are. Get the full view, and that is almost the entirety of my manga collection held within this one box. I think the only thing that's missing here is, if you look, I have Komi Can't Communicate. And the 8th volume usually goes here, but my brother's borrowing it, and then I got some other stuff that I just haven't thrown in the box yet, but this is the bulk of my collection. So my idea for this is I'll just sort of give an overview of certain aspects of my collection, as well as just talk about like some of the earlier series and some of my favorite series I have in here. So I think to start off, I'll just talk about box sets. So first off here, we got the Demon Slayer box set, which is super pretty. I have tried filming this video already once, and when I tried pulling it out, and it totally ruined everything. So I'll just show it. From what you can see here, you can see Tanjiro, and I believe that's Muzan fighting. But it's really pretty, and it's really cool. And just to preface, I may have a, you know, in my opinion, impressive amount of manga, but I've read like 28 of the almost 160 volumes held within this case, and I have read none of Demon Slayer, which is lame. And second, we got Assassination Classroom, which I've only read 2 of, which isn't much better than none. And this one isn't, it's still cool, but it's not as cool. It's got Koro Sensei's face on it, and like I said, it'll probably ruin everything if I pull it out. But that's got, as you can see, it's got the Shine, 21 volumes, which is the full series, and then that full series is 23. And then my third box set here is a Zelda box set, which is shaped like a Legend of Zelda treasure chest, which I think is awesome. And if we open it up here, it's usually supposed to go like na-na-na-na, but it doesn't work anymore. But as you can see in here, we got a bunch of hardcover versions of different Zelda manga volumes, and they're all like really nice hardcover and matte. And oh, I just love this box set. But once again, I've only read one of them. None others. I've only read one. Which that's just on me. I really like collecting, and I really like the idea of reading, but I don't know why I don't do it. Maybe it's just because I'm busy, or maybe it's just I'm doing other things. I've got other things I'm doing. Whatever. There's a million excuses I could make, but the thing is I'm just lazy and I never start reading. So now that we've shown my 3 box sets, let's just go over some of the series I have. I'm just going to start off with some of the series I got early on when I first started collecting manga. So my friend Caleb, which if I think I've mentioned him, he's been mentioned in a Manga Consumers video, but if you don't know him, he's my best friend and he's my next door neighbor. And so he actually got me on manga. He had a few volumes and he made me watch, well actually it was my idea to watch Kaguya-sama Love is War, because I found out that the dub was like really, really funny. Which is not, usually the sub's better, but in this case, a lot of people find the dub better. And I liked it a lot, and he also was the person who got me to watch Demon Slayer, which I've watched the entirety of the anime and think it's awesome and love it. So because of that, he was getting into manga, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. I really like Kaguya. So I ended up getting, I think I originally decided to get the first 3 volumes here, and then got the 4th one later, and then like the 5th one was out of stock, but actually as of making this, they're back in stock. Then along with that, I decided to just get some other series I had heard of that were good, and that is Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, as well as Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man was not far in its publication, at least in the West, and I think only like the first few volumes were out. So I just got the first of that, some Kaguya, and then the first of Nagatoro, just to like dip my toe in manga, basically. And I mean, if I didn't I knew I'd liked it, because if we look down here, I have an original version of Zelda Majora's Mask, which I also have the nice version in there as well, so I have 2 copies of it. But I had that when I was really little, and I just sort of reinvigorated what I liked about that when I started collecting all this. But yeah, and then I just sort of got together with Caleb one day, and it was a nice day, and we just decided to read outside, and I ended up reading Chainsaw Man, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is really cool, and I've always liked, the Japanese art style and Japanese humor. I'm a big fan of like Nintendo video games and all that, so it made sense that this would be the sort of thing that I get hooked on. And I also liked like Toho Godzilla and all that stuff. And then Nagatoro I read right after, and I thought that was hilarious, and it's just a ridiculous series, and the romance that's also happening on the side is something that's just so like fun to see unfold, along with the humorous, teasings of Nagatoro to Senpai. The other series I got pretty early on is this one here, The Devil's a Part-Timer, which is more well known as a light novel, but I decided to get the manga version, and that was also something I got pretty early on. I like that series. I haven't gotten as many comparatively to other series, because I like it, but not as much, and I don't know, maybe I just haven't given it enough time, and if I read more of it or whatever, I'd, possibly like it, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so I'd say my early ones were definitely Kaguya, Chainsaw Man, Nagatoro, and I've had to choose another one, and Devil's a Part-Timer, because those are all early buys for me as far as the collection goes. And I actually got this box set here for a Christmas present even before I started collecting all this, and I think that also was something that helped, sort of spark this idea of being a collector of manga. And then later down the road, I started sort of branching out on my own and figuring out like, oh, I'm going to try and just watch anime on my own. And one of them, there was this weird sense of time where Caleb and I were into Kendo. So I started watching the anime of Bamboo Blade, and it's an older manga as well as an older anime series, so it's kind of hard to find them, so I only have 3 of the volumes. But I really like that series, and a lot of the characters are fun and funny, and it's sort of like, it's a sports manga, and there's a lot of aspects that are comedic as well as, you know, wholesome and cool. And some of the like the Kendo fights and action is also really cool. So that was a pretty early one, as well as something that was sort of me going off, and this being like something I was doing sort of branched off from originally kind of doing it with Caleb and then it morphing into my own thing. Um, I'm thinking what to talk about. Um, I think next I'll just talk about some of the series that like I've really gotten attached to. And that's why I have more of them. So we got Chainsaw Man, which I'm pretty sure as of making this, I'm not caught up. There is a 10th volume out, but as of right now, I'm, you know, basically I'm caught up. I have 9 of the 10. And that's a really cool series, and I can't wait for the anime to come out. Spy Family, the story is I accidentally got the first version on Kindle, totally, because Amazon's got this thing where you can like one click buy. Accidentally did it with Spy Family. Was like, oh, might as well read it. Read it, loved it, and decided to just catch up with the series since it's pretty early. But everyone loves that series, and I can totally see why. It's really fun, really funny. Comey's the same sort of thing. It started getting a lot of press, a lot of talk about it, and it's also getting it has an anime. But it was the sort of thing where like I heard about it, so I bought it, and I thought it was adorable, really funny. And it's the same sort of thing as Nagatoro. It's just like, it's newer, the characters are fun, the comedy is like on point, it's really funny, and it doesn't, Nagatoro leads a lot into like sort of, I guess, pervy humor, while Komi's just like, kind of weird or goofy humor, which is really, it's a nice change of pace, because a lot of manga has more like the Nagatoro style humor rather than Komi. So it was kind of a nice refresher, nice change of pace. And then something, I think the last major thing I'll touch on as far as my collection, because I mean, you get the gist of it already. I talked about some of my favorites. I talked about some of the stuff that like got me into it. But one last thing I'll just show is like, I'll show some of the, I guess, some of the weirder aspects of my collection, because like it's always interesting to see the sort of things that like I guess slap you in the face come out of nowhere. So first, if you've been looking at the numbers, I have 9 and 10 here, and 4 and 5. So 4 and 5 of Happy Sugar Life, and 9 and 10 of Fire Force. So the reason that is because if you've seen other videos of ours, you'll find out that something that got big when we started getting into manga was we started getting a lot of manga from our local library. Because our local library actually has like a ton of manga, which is really cool, because I know some people's don't have a lot of graphic novels or manga choices, but ours do. And so I read the first 3 volumes of Happy Sugar Life and the first 8 of Fire Force. Really liked both series. I thought like Happy Sugar Life was really interesting, freaky, and scary in a really weird way that was just off-putting in a gripping way, like as far as storytelling goes. And Fire Force was a cool, intense shonen. And so I really like both of them. So I just bought where I was, where I was, which made more sense. And then like, I'll just complete it later, which, I feel like makes sense. Another weird thing here, if you look, is I have one called I Don't Like You at All, Big Brother. And it is, for all intents and purposes, an incest manga. I know that's like terrible. I got it as a joke, which I do often, which you also see, Dick Fight Island. They're both series that like I saw the names and I read the premises and I was like, these sound weird. These sound so ridiculous. I need to get them. Which I've done the same thing. I did it with the novel 50 Shades of Grey. It was the same thing. Like, it was an inside joke with me and a friend. So it was just like buying it, which I have a tendency of doing, just buying things out of, for the sake of irony. So that's where Dick Fight Island and I Don't Like You at All, Big Brother come in. They're just totally like, they're basically jokes. I think I have another one that might be similar in here. No, it doesn't look like it, but yeah, I also have this stack on the side here. I got Uzaki-chan, Do You Like the Nerdy Nurse, Hell's Paradise, as well as a couple more down here, Love and Lies, which I have 2 of, Grand Blue Dreaming, which I only have 1 of because I haven't read it yet, and I just don't want to continue forward with collecting something I haven't read yet, and then Watakoi as well, which is a 2-for-1, 2 volumes in one. So yeah, I mean that's basically the gist of my collection. I mean, of course, there's a few other things, but I don't feel the need to touch on literally every book I have in my collection. But if you've been watching this video, till this point, whether or not this is happening after Chloe's or before, till this point, you stuck around long enough, you've probably seen everything, just reading it idly as you listen. Either way, though, if you got to this point, thank you for joining me on me showing off my manga collection. Like I said, it's not as big as other YouTubers on here. I've seen some videos where it's like, my 700 plus, manga collection. Mine's like 150 plus, good job. But like I said, I'm proud of it, and especially given the time frame that I've had it. Like, I've only been collecting since, like, the summer. And so I'd say that's fairly impressive. And there's a stack of manga over here on this terribly ripped chair that, I don't know, maybe is a part of a different video you should also watch on our channel. Okay, thank you for joining me. I'm gonna rearrange my manga and fit the mystery pile in here so it looks nice. I'll see you all next time. Watch another one of our videos, or get prepared for Chloe's part, depending on what's happening. Yes. Have fun.